Max Meyer is getting the call. He is making his major league debut on Saturday. The Marlins are going all in 2022. All the reaction on Max Meyer and more on today's Locked On Marlins.
You are Locked On Marlins, your daily podcast on the Miami Marlins. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Greetings from England and welcome to Friday's edition of Locked On Marlins. It's your daily Marlins podcast with me, host Peter Pratt. And don't forget to follow me, guys, of course, on Twitter at Miami Marlins_UK. And guys, I woke up this morning and opened Twitter and was greeted with some delightful news. The notifications were on, the tags were high. There was a lot of hype going on this morning when we realized that Max Meyer will finally be getting his call by the Marlins to the major leagues, and he will be making his debut on Saturday. So the Marlins are going into this Phillies series, the last series before the All-Star break. They have Sandy Alcantara going tonight, Friday. Following that up, debut for Max Meyer. And then on Sunday, they finish off before the All-Star break. Starter to be announced, to be determined. And that's going to be one of the topics that I get into today is what's the knock-on effect here? Max gets the call. What does that mean for the rotation? Saturday should have been Trevor's start if we were going to follow it through. It's also Trevor Rogers' bobblehead day or night. And Max Meyer is now bumping Trevor. So the Marlins have done Trevor dirty there on his bobblehead day that he would have been pitching in. He no longer will be, or at least he won't be starting. So really intrigued on that one. But let's start with Max Meyer, guys. He finally gets the call. We were clamoring for it earlier in the year when it felt like the Marlins needed him. Eliezer was really struggling back then. Just by the way, on Eliezer, I haven't talked about him all week on Locked On Marlins. He's really settled into that role. Surprise, surprise, we said it. Looks like a really nice long man, could do a job. Great to see Eliezer up. So anyway, let's go backwards. The Marlins needed Max Meyer at that point. Then obviously Max gets hurt, has a couple of wonky starts as he tries to work through the pain and the issue. Then finally hits the IL. The Marlins shut him down, and now he's working his way back up and has looked electric in all of his rehabs. The time was right. We're getting there at the time now where the Marlins are right in it. So let's kind of call that out, though, guys, that the Marlins are absolutely in the hunt. 3 games back of the third wildcard spot. So they're in the mix. They've got a 3-game series with the Phillies that they're jostling with for this wildcard 3 spot. So the time was absolutely right. I love the timing of this. Let's get Max up there. If they wouldn't have made the move, how would the rotation have shaken up? I think it would have been Trevor, so it would have been Sandy, Trevor, and Dan the Man Castano, I believe, would have been the 3. The Marlins are thinking, let's get Max Meyer in there. What does that mean? Let's talk about that briefly. I want to go back to actually Max and the way he received the message that he was getting the call, which we saw via the Marlins account yesterday, which was great to see. So where do they go with this now, the Fish? Do they slide Trevor back a day and say to Trevor, hey, you take Sunday, go head-to-head with Aaron Nola. Dan Castano, do you then slide into the long man role, which he already was in that role earlier in the year? It's where my head's been at for the last week or so when we've seen Max, we've seen he's being built up. The Marlins are in the mix. We strip it away, guys. Max Meyer could and should be in this rotation ahead of Dan Castano. And I think, Dan's kind of starting to fizzle a little bit. He's done a serviceable job, but it's time. It's time to make that move, in my opinion anyway, get Castano into the pen or send him down to AAA if he needs be and, keep built up as a starter. But I think he adds value in that long man role for sure. Trevor slides back a day. However, the other wrinkle to that, I have seen earlier on Joe Prasaro talking about maybe going with Pablo Lopez on Sunday. It's before the break, so there's going to be a bit of downtime for the guys after it. Maybe they go Pablo on short rest On the Sunday, he obviously only went 5 innings, 83 pitches, I think, from memory. So is that an option? Are the Marlins really, truly all in? The other option clearly is, what's the corresponding move here for the 26 man? Is it that Trevor Rogers is optioned? Is he sent down to AAA? I've said it for all season. It has not been good for Trevor. They are really letting him work his struggles out at the major league level. We all remember the first half of 2021, no doubt, but this is not the first half of 2021. No doubt it has been very, very different from Trevor. And the Marlins are in it. Can they continue to leave Trevor rolling with his near 6 ERA, not missing any bats, not going deep into games? He's hurting the Marlins this year in the main. His last couple of starts, I'd say, have looked better. However, the floor is low. The floor is real low with Trevor. It's not really looked good all year. He's definitely kind of come back, but he keeps having this 1 inning blow up. He's struggled all year to get out the first inning. Then he'll have a blow up in later on in the game. It's not been good. So if you said, Pete Pratt, you're the GM, what move are you making here? The move for me, Max Meyer in, Trevor Rogers just about hangs on into the rotation. Dan Castano slides into the pen. And then one of the pen arms is optioned. It's possible that could be, and you're kind of then thinking, well, who do you option from the bullpen? Eliezer's backup, obviously. He's been doing nicely. Maybe it's Eliezer. Maybe you say, Eliezer, go back down to AAA, keep built up as a starter in case we need you. The other one for me, Jimmy Yacobonis, started like a house on fire. Really did. And the last couple of outings have not been good. Given up some loud contact, some hard contact, some bombs. I think Jimmy Yacobonis is potentially at risk here of being optioned down. And we're at that stage of the year, 26 man, and you have to have 13 pitchers. You have to have 13 position players. So it's not even they can have a degree of flexibility and then carry an extra bat or anything like that, or carry, an extra arm. They have to do it. So if Max is coming up, an arm has to go down. Has to. So we'll wait and see on that. Let's go back, though, in terms of the announcement. And you start to get a kind of peek behind the curtain of Max Meyer, the type of guy he is, and how he responds to these situations. Did you see the Marlins clip? They put it out there. Secret recording going on in AAA. The manager's sitting him down and just saying, asking him a couple of questions, leading questions, and then delivering the news to Max Meyer that he's on his way up to the big leagues and will be making his major league debut. What was Max Meyer's, what was his reaction? This is what got me. It was deadpan, pretty much. Barely acknowledged it. Barely. I could see in the room, they wanted to get hyped. They wanted to start jumping around and, high-fiving each other. Max Meyer just sitting back in his chair, taking it all in. We've had this read from Craig Mish already the last, couple of months around Max Meyer and starting to kind of dig into his kind of character. There's a confidence there. But at the same time, there's this Terminator-like approach. There's this Terminator-like determination about Max Meyer. He doesn't seem fazed by anything. He believes he belongs at the big leagues and he is going to be there for a long time. Long time. He's making his debut against the Phils. The Phils, as we know, offensively, always dangerous. They throw they throw so much money at the offense. Clearly, there's a couple of guys are down right now, but Philly's offense is lively. No doubt, it's going to be a big test. But Max Meyer, just his reaction to this news I found it really interesting. A really interesting part that he just literally sits there, takes it all in, barely gives anything away. He struggled to even say thank you or let's go. It was so he was ready for it. Nothing is phasing Max Meyer. Looks like a Terminator. Looks like he's ready to rock and roll. And based on what Craig is saying, has a self-confidence like no other. Well, maybe only comparable to Jose Fernandez. And we all know what Jose could do. So I am extremely intrigued to see the way this goes. But the Marlins on the 15th of July, well, 14th of July, US time anyway, have made the move. They've called up what I would say their biggest prospect that is major league ready. And they have added and upgraded the major league roster. Question is why now? Why this specific moment for Max Meyer? So we're going to talk about that shortly. But it's time to let you guys know about our good friends over at BlueNile.com. And at BlueNile.com, you can celebrate all of life's special moments, from creating the custom engagement ring of her dreams to gifting a classic and timeless jewelry piece, all at the prices you won't find at a traditional jeweler's. No. So if you're ready to pop the question or celebrating that milestone moment, find jewelry as unique as her with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. So, engagement rings. If you're thinking about it, don't bother with those standard jewelers. Get into Blue Nile's bespoke online tool that lets you choose the diamond shape, size, clarity, as well as setting style. You get it all. Then Blue Nile's jewelers will handcraft the perfect engagement ring for her to your specification. Each ring then one of a kind. And you know what that means? Bespoke, baby. Bespoke engagement ring. Boy, oh boy, treat your bride. So make your moment sparkle with jewelry from BlueNile.com. And Locked On listeners get $50 off purchases of $500 or more. This podcast exclusive includes engagement. So how do you get it? You got to use the promo code, of course. And the promo code is Locked On. Locked On gets you $50 off purchases of $500 or more. Every order is insured. It ships for free and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever peace. Go to BlueNile.com today. Okay, guys, so Max Meyer is up. The timing is interesting. No one's hurt that we know of in the rotation. But what is hurting is the Marlins offense right now. The Marlins offense has had a real... they won 2 games against the Pirates, but boy, oh boy, it was a struggle for the offense all the way through the series. Plus now, John Berti with a groin strain, Miggy with no teeth, Cooper Loop with one knee. There's the guys are banged up, really banged up. And so I believe that the Marlins are looking at this series, and pardon the pun, there's a must-win series. Must win for the Fish. Offense is scuttling. It's time to inject some life into the club, into the clubhouse. And I say that in a way that Max Meyer, from what I've seen on the clips, he's not going to be injecting life with a personality, is the read I'm getting. He's going to be there trying to just get his work done, get his business done. But whenever you have one of your top prospects arriving into the clubhouse, the fans are going to be lifted. The players are going to be lifted. They're going to be excited to see what Max Meyer can do. No doubt about it. So that's it. It's the little shot in the arm, the boost for the ball club, for the clubhouse. Prospects are in. Marlins front office is doing things. It's doing bits to win. And I think it's just the perfect timing. It's a no-lose situation here for the Fish. I don't think it is. Max was ready. He's been ready all year. Looked ready. First-round pick from 2020. He's been sensational in the minors. He's got nothing left to prove. I think he's going to be a state rotation for years. Let's not forget, he was almost traded to the Angels last year. So I know how that will be kind of making him feel. He'd be there trying to prove a point to the Marlins themselves. You can't trade me. I'm Max Meyer. So I think that's another intriguing wrinkle to this one. But the timing, I think, is perfect. The Marlins really need to win this series. Sandy goes today. You then throw in Max. All of a sudden, you win the first 2. And then we'll wait and see what happens on Sunday. I think that's the perfect ploy. They're making ground. Keep making ground in this hunt. Really, really intriguing for the Fish, no doubt. I think as a fan base, we're relieved, but excited. And I've seen it on Twitter. Everyone's like, hey, who's going the ball game on Saturday now? Who's in? They're already going on Friday, rightly so. Now they're like, hey, I'm going to go Saturday as well. This is it. From a Marlins perspective, put your studs on the field and the fans will come. And they are going to come for Max Meyer. And I think they're going to absolutely love it. I think they're going to love it. I have no idea who's pitching for the Phils on Saturday yet. I know they're kind of a little bit dinged up in the rotation. So I'm not sure. And I know Gibson's going tonight on Friday. I know they've had a bullpen game kind of meshed in there recently. So maybe they're mixing and matching again on Saturday. Again, another perfect time for Max Meyer. You're not going head-to-head with Nola. You're not going head-to-head with Wheeler or even Gibson. Interesting. Who's going to catch him? That's the other question, right? Stallings will be going tonight. We know that because Sandy is on the mound. Is Stallings going to be the guy? Likely Nicky Fortes has spent some time catching Max Meyer at certain stages of his career in AAA, maybe this season, earlier in the year. It's pretty likely the way things have worked out is if you've been a AAA guy recently and Fortes has caught you, then Fortes has handled it. However, the interesting bit here, Stallings is the veteran catcher. He's just been presented with his gold glove from last year. It's a gold glove catcher. Do you give your young stud the gold glove catcher on your debut at home against the Phillies? I know from an offensive perspective, it's not been great from Stallings, but I think he should be behind the dish. I really do. I think it'd be the right move to have Stallings behind there. Not to say there's a major drop-off with Fortes, but yeah, I'm intrigued to see the way that one plays out too. It would mean then Fortes perhaps would be catching, let's say Trevor slides back a spot to Sunday, or Pablito goes on short rest, potentially. It would mean that Nicky Fortes would be catching one of those two dudes. We talked about it. I saw it again on Twitter. I get all my information from Twitter. That's how I stay in touch. And I saw that, it's not been good for Trevor this year. Stallings, I think, has caught him every game. I wonder what would happen if they changed it up slightly and maybe had Fortes call in a Trevor Rogers game. I would say it's worth a try. It's definitely worth a try with Trevor in general, because for the first half, it has been broke and it does need to be fixed. So I think that's another intriguing wrinkle. Do they go with Stallings behind the dish, given the experience? Do they go with Fortes, maybe the familiarity, and then the knock-on effect? We'll see what it means. So, a few decisions for the Marlins to make here, no doubt, around this Max Meyer news. But in summary, Max Meyer is up, getting the start on Saturday for the Marlins. It's the perfect time for him. It's almost a no-lose situation. It's a perfect time for the clubhouse to give them the shot in the arm they need in a series that it is must win. They have to win this series. Craig Mish, again, has talked about it all year. The Marlins have not beaten anyone in the NL at that moment in time when they've played them that have been above 500. The Phillies are sitting above 500. This is the perfect time for the Fish, and they have been great at home against the Phillies. Perfect storm here for the Marlins. However, on the flip side, just want to call out, there was a series in 2021. I recall it. I can't remember the exact time of the year. It was early in the year. The Phillies were really scuttling. The Marlins were on a real surge. The Marlins all of a sudden had loads of their guys back. If you remember, they had so many injuries all in bunches. They had loads of guys back. The Phillies were dinged up. They came to town. And I remember the Phillies did the number on the Marlins in that series. So, need to be very, very careful. But this series is winnable. Any series should be winnable in a 3-game series when Sandy goes. Plus then Max Meyer and all the hype that will bring on Saturday. He's going to be amped, no doubt about it, but I'm absolutely pumped to see what he can deliver. Final out of the day, final out of the week. It's like good friends over at Bet Online, of course. If I was a betting man, how would I be going in game one? I'm absolutely piling in on the Marlins, piling in their favorites for the game, rightly so. And betonline.net, it's your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. You can find all the latest sports developments, league reviews and news, including this year's NHL playoffs and Major League Baseball, of course, and continued source for all your sporting wagering information, including live betting, esports, and all of the scores. Keep up to date with them. So let's be honest, betonline.net, they've got everything covered. Every event, every sport, it's there. Includes MMA, includes boxing, includes golf. The Open's going, Tiger Woods, some emotional scenes. Rory McIlroy absolutely blazing it up as well there right now. So head to the website today. Use your mobile device to learn more about the trends in action. Bet online where the game starts. And this is where Locked On Marlins is going to finish for the week. Final segment. And just a quick recap on Sasha Marks knocking around here heading into this series. And, this is being recorded. It's 5 to 8 p.m. UK time right now. So you may have listened to Swings and Mishes already as the amuse bouche. You've now got Locked On Marlins coming in hot as the main course. A fish stripes dessert later on the day. Those boys will have it covered as well. So Marlins content absolutely coming at you scorching hot today. And here's what the Marlins need to think about right now. John Berti, what's happening? What's happening with John Berti? Groin issue yesterday. Groin issue to me when you have to exit the game and the type of game that John Berti has could be to the IL. They may not need the IL. They've got the All-Star break that kind of creates an IL situation. But I'd be surprised if we see John Berti this series and this weekend. Is Jazz Chisholm available? No, he's not. No rehab for Jazz. I spoke about it earlier in the week with Sean Barrett. I think, unfortunately, Jazz is going to miss the All-Star game. He won't want to miss it. He'll want to play big stage for our big superstar. But no rehab starts. I think Jazz misses this whole series. I think he misses the All-Star game too. And for the Marlins, they just want him to come back and be healthy, ready to rock and roll. The same for Berti. So I think Berti misses the series. I think Jazz misses the series too. Big holes in the infield now all of a sudden, and in the outfield too, because Berti's been doing some work out there. So what about Miguel Rojas, El Capitan? Yes, he has blocked me on Twitter. I mean, let bygones be bygones there, Miggy. Come on, brother. It's time. But yesterday, El Capitan, helmet to the face, teeth flying everywhere. He's on Twitter today saying, straight to the dentist. I've got a fresh tooth, couple of stitches. I'm ready to go. That's my captain, El Capitan. He's a warrior, straight up stud, new smile, new teeth, same old El Capitan, straight back in the mix. So I think by all reports there, Miggy, he's going to be available today and for this series. And we needed him, particularly with that Berti injury as well, for sure. So what are the other question marks? Jorge Soler, he's been rehabbing. To me, he looked ready to go. If John Berti is going to be missing, do they bring Soler back? Is that the corresponding move? Do they IL Berti and they bring Soler back for this series? The Marlins desperately need the power stroke. They really do. Like I said, the offense has been scuttling big time. Jorge Soler would be a shot in the arm for the fish. No doubt about it. So I think there's a decent chance that Jorge Soler, if Berti is struggling and is going to miss this series entirely, I think perhaps you have to pull that trigger. That then brings other questions in. You've got Luke Williams, who can kind of fill into the, into the infield. He can play everywhere, which is fine. That's the kind of value of Luke Williams, and he has been a valuable dude. And then you've got Billy Hamilton in his role, and he is a true role player right now. He is a pinch runner, defensive replacement, you name it. Billy Hamilton's kind of doing it. His face is scuffed to hell. Bad day for the Marlins in the looks department yesterday. I hope there was no photo shoots, planned for this week because, Miggy's got no teeth and Billy Hamilton's got no face. But, we'll see what happens there. I think Billy Hamilton stays on the roster. Craig Mish talked about it on the episode today, and I think this is a really important point. Jesus Sanchez. What's the plan with Jesus Sanchez more generally here? Because it has not been good at the plate. Defensively, has been fine. Outfield assist actually yesterday in the game, no problem. But where do they go with this stick? They are carrying pretty much a dead weight of a stick right now, which is not good. Billy Hamilton's effectively a dead weight of a stick as well. Avisel Garcia has not been good either. So, the Marlins need to be really careful how they play this one in general. But what do you do with Jesus Sanchez? What's the plan there? The problem the Marlins face now is, what do you do at center field? Berti, let's say Berti's injured too, kind of traps them into it a little bit. But Craig did call it out to say he expects JJ Bleday to be very near and perhaps up with the Marlins within the next month, effectively is what he's saying. He kind of said, what's the date today? Oh, July 15th. Well, I think by August 15th, he'll be up. So that to me that's a specific timeline of, let's keep watching our clocks till August 15th. He's saying within the next month, Blade should be up. And rightly so. Rightly so. It's time, like Max Meyer is ready. I think it's time to find out what Blade's got too. De La Cruz, Jesus Sanchez, both of them struggling. Billy Hamilton, he's got his role, so let's kind of take him out. But De La Cruz and Jesus Sanchez, it's been tough. It has been tough for them in long stretches. Who plays center field? Can JJ Blade slide into center field? We know De La Cruz kind of can. I mean, Avisel Garcia, we heard, could play center field. And defensively, in right field, Avi's been fine. I'd be intrigued to see what he could do at center field, actually, to be honest with you. But I think we've got bigger fish to fry, more concerns there with Avi in general. But I think with this one, Berti to the IL, Soler back in the mix. I think that's the most likely outcome. Max Meyer up, Dan Castano to the pen. Trevor Rogers slides back a day. Yacobonis is optioned, and the Marlins roll. They need a big series. The Phillies have lost a couple to the Blue Jays. They're a little bit dinged up in the rotation. They're a bit dinged up in the offense. It's a good time. They haven't had a good record on the road in Miami. Listen, the Marlins, if they sweep this series, if they sweep it, if they can do that against these Phils, they will be above 500 at the All-Star break. One game above 500. And then the Marlins, they just have to play pretty well for the next 2 weeks. Let's say they play 500 ball at worst up until the deadline. Then the Marlins are going to be an above 500 team, likely still in the hunt for the wild card 3 spot, and likely looking to add some dudes. Craig again talked about it. They've already started conversations, it seems, for high leverage, right-handed relief pitching. Tanner Scott needs some help back there. He does. It's been hairy. It's been scary. It's been fun. But Tanner Scott needs help in that they need a righty that they can turn to. If they want to play matchups, if Tanner Scott's down, it's the most obvious thing. They need a bat. They need another bat too. The offense has been below par recently. Jazz is out the lineup. Soler's out the lineup. The guys are trying to scuttle through. Berti's been doing a job, but they need another stick. I think they need a left-handed stick. They need a kind of Jock Peterson type dude. I mean, I don't think Jock Peterson's going to be available because it's a real nice contract there, but a nice left-handed stick, I think, would really help the Fish. They've got a lot of power from the right-hand side, but not so much the left. Clearly, Jazz when he's available. But with Jazz, as we've seen, we can't rely on Jazz to just be healthy all the rest of the year. Experience tells us that will not be the case. So the Marlins need to consider that. Think about the depth. Jesus Sanchez should be the power from the left-hand side. He isn't. He's struggling. So basically, we need someone to deliver that kind of production, what we expect to see from Jesus Sanchez anyway, and be available off the bench or to mix and match, give the Marlins a bit more of a threat, a bit more oomph, because some of these lineups, they do look a little bit placid and they're trying to, manufacture runs at all times. And sometimes, for sure. Nevertheless, the Marlins have been effective in these extra innings games. They found ways to win. They're finding ways to manufacture runs. They're good at manufacturing runs in the 10th because they're so used to having to try and do it for the other 9. That's why the Marlins are so good in it. But that's going to wrap us up for today, Friday's episode, and this week's Monday to Friday episodes on Locked On Marlins. The Fish, it's a massive series. We're going to head into the All-Star break after 3 games with the Phils. A sweep would be sensational. I'm not ruling it out. Actually, I'm going to put it on record right now. The Marlins get the sweep. They head into the All-Star break, 1 game over 500. Sandy and Max pitch out of their minds, and Trevor Rogers has a massive bounce back in a real tight game on Sunday against Aaron Nola. With that being said, guys, enjoy the weekend. It is a stunning pitching. It's just stunning pitching for the Marlins. I hope anyone that can get down to the ballpark, enjoy it firsthand. I will be extremely jealous, but I'll be watching, of course, from here across the pond in the UK, likely with a beer or red wine in hand. So with that, guys, enjoy the weekend, and I will be back on Monday as we start to review the series and look ahead to the All-Star break and start to consider draft as well. The draft is right there as well. So what the Marlins going to have done? What are they looking to target? Who have they selected? Who are they planning to select? All of this stuff we'll be getting into on next week's Locked On Marlins.